Well, folks, here it is. My entire Yu-Gi-Oh collection with some Pokemon and Naruto cards mixed in, just because when people send me shit like that in my mailbag, I just throw it into the Yu-Gi-Oh box. Big collection of cards. I've been collecting this shit, and I know it's not a whole lot, probably, for some of you Yu-Gi-Oh fanatics at home, but it's a collection. How many years in the making now? 14, maybe? I probably started when I was like 8 or 9. Does that sound right? Around 2004, maybe? But I thought today, for episode 100 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, we do a little bit of a different thing. Instead of a let's play, let's do a let's nostalgia. That'll be fun. I got my deck in here. I was going to go through it and show it to you, and maybe look through some of these cards. Like, for example, you got your classics, like the what's it called? The Gate Safeguard. I don't think you're a true 90s kid Yu-Gi-Oh fan unless you got a good handful of cards like this one, because you're like an elementary school kid and you tell your family for Christmas. Am I blurry? You tell your family for Christmas, oh, I want some Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards, and your dumbass uncle or your dumbass aunt or your dumbass grandparents, they go to the store to buy you a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and they say, $3.99? I don't think so. Oh, look, they got some over here for 99 cents. And you get a whole bunch of shit like this. Why? And it even says Yu-Gi-Oh and Konami on the back. Is that legal? Who did this? Does anybody know the story behind these cards? Were these legal? Because they're not real. I have to assume that Gate Safeguard is not a real card. Whatever company was behind these cards, I hope that they burned to the ground because so many gifts were made moot by this shit. So fuck you. Alright, this deck, I haven't actually used it in person in probably 2 years. I used to duel a lot with my roommate Cobb and my good buddy Biggs. We would do that a lot after high school ended. But otherwise, I'm not really sure why I still have these. I've moved 2 or 3 times since I last actually dueled somebody, so I don't know why I keep bringing the collection around, because it's not like the cards are worth anything. I've gone through these hundreds of times. Look at this shitty card. This poor Dark Magician. I swear I got it in this quality. There's no way I would have done that. But I've gone through the collection several times to see if there's anything worth money. No, of course not. Of course none of them are worth any money. So why do I keep dragging these around? 99% of these cards I would never even use anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's just Mumkey versus nostalgia. I don't know why I keep this big collection of shit. But anyway, the deck. I haven't looked at it since I think I put it into the computer so that I could duel Digi for bonus episode 3 of our podcast. And the deck is always in flux. I always switch out some cards. Sometimes I use the 3 Solar Flare Dragons. Sometimes I don't. I think sometimes I put in A-Traffic Control just to play with that. Ojama Trio with the A-Traffic Control. Oh, it looks like this card's not in a sleeve. Sometimes, and I never have an extra deck, except, and you're gonna say, oh wow, Mumkey, you must be living in the Yu-Gi-Oh Stone Ages. You don't have an extra deck. It's true, but the only extra deck card I would ever run is Stardust Dragon, because I got a copy of Starlight Road or something. It's a trap card that lets you pretty much just summon this guy. So I didn't have any tuners in my deck, but I did have Stardust Dragon. But it looks like he's not in this configuration of the deck. Before we go through it, like I was just saying a second ago, all of these cards are going to be prehistoric for the modern day Yu-Gi-Oh fan. It's a deck probably so slow that you would think it's preposterous. A deck that would take more than 3 turns to win, like modern day duels probably go. But I just want to go through it anyway, because why not? Let's see what we got. Of course you got Mirror Force. Classic trap card. I think that even today Mirror Force is probably a beloved card. And if I haven't addressed this before, my deck style is, well, I know I've addressed it before, but in case you didn't pay attention, my deck style is very much stall, shut the opponent down, and burn him to death. So you're going to see a lot of that in the cards I have. Next one we have is Cyber Valley. I just use it as a stall card. Pretty much, if you have it on the field and your opponent attacks you, you can like stop the attack and end the phase. So just a good stall card, I guess. Then Spirit Reaper. I love these Marshmallow type cards, the monsters that cannot be destroyed by battle. Unfortunately, Spirit Reaper has the problem where if he gets equipped with a card, then he's automatically destroyed. But I didn't run into that problem too often. Ring of Destruction. I'm pretty sure this card's banned. Because I know when I dueled Cobb and Biggs, I would make sure all of our decks were legal up to the current format. So did this get unbanned, or is this... Why did I put this in here? Maybe it got unbanned, because I know I tried to keep it legal. But Ring of Destruction, great trap card. It should be banned, because it's really fucking good. United We Stand. Again, another good card, because you can power up your monsters' attack stat by a whole lot. It's especially good for a monster called Spell Striker, which can attack directly, which we'll be getting to later, because I think I have 3 of those bad boys in here. Here's the Solar Flare Dragon, one of the hearts and souls of the burn deck that I use, because if you have 2 or more of him on the field, they can't be targeted for an attack, and every time you end a turn, it does 500 damage. So it's just great. It stalls in the sense that your opponent can't destroy your monsters, and in the sense that it's burning the fuck out of them, and they're just done for. Next, my favorite card. Probably my favorite card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! It used to be Ames the Infinity when I was in middle school because I thought he was cool. But now, you can't beat him. It's the Lava Golem. The best card in the game. I bet even today Lava Golem would be pretty useful. I know you probably don't want to give your opponent like a free, 8-star monster or whatever the hell. But the fact that you can tribute 2 of your opponent's monsters, it's not destroying them. It's tributing. So they got traps like, oh, if a monster is being targeted or destroyed and blah, you're not doing it. You're tributing 2 of your opponent's monsters. They could have just summoned their big bad, whatever the fuck. You dead, son. And then, every turn this is on their field, they lose 1,000 points. It's beautiful. Especially when the entire rest of your deck is built around making sure that your opponent can't attack you. You summon this to their field and you got Spirit Reaper up or Marshmallow or 2 Solar Flares, they can't do anything. They just die. And I know this stuff is expired, but back in the day, in high school, I never fucking lost. I never lost. They couldn't beat it. It was too good. What's next? Another good stall card. Swords of Revealing Light, a card that is probably still used to this day, although maybe not, because I guess you would call it slow, because it sits on the field for 3 turns and can easily be destroyed by anything that destroys spells and traps. Another Solar Flare Dragon, here's the card I've been talking about, Marshmallow. This is another card that's good at stalling and burning, because it can't be destroyed by battle, and when it gets attacked from the face-down defensive position, the opponent loses 1,000 points. 1/8 of your life gone right there. Another card that is crucial to my strategy. Level Limit Area B, coupled with Gravity Bind. Back in the day, I know I had 3 of these and 3 Gravity Binds. They might have changed like the limited rules on them, so you can only have 1 of something. But when you have a 40 card deck and 3 of your cards are this and 3 of your cards are Gravity Bind, you're pretty much guaranteed at any given point in the duel to stop your opponent from having actual attacks. What this one does is all level 4 or higher monsters are forced into defense position, which applies to Lava Golem being level 8. So if you got this in Lava Golem, that's a 2-card Exodia in my mind. What are they going to do about it? These days they can do lots of things, so back in the day, not so much. Very good for stalling and for burning them up. Another Lava Golem. You can never have too many. Never have too many. Another Level Limit Area B. Maybe I need to shuffle better because all the same cards are popping up. Ooh. This is a card that I would not be surprised if it's still being played. I think it's limited at 1, even to this day. It's a very tricky, very mean card. And both Cobb and Biggs hated me using it so much that they both bought a copy. So when you have two of these bad boys, you know, running around causing mayhem at the same time, one on each side, it's a tricky scenario, especially when they're attacking each other. It's the Neo-Spatian Grand Mole. This son of a bitch. What he does is, if he's involved in an attack, so if he's attacking something or something is attacking him, I can choose to say, hey, no attack today, my friend. And both him and the other monster go back to your respective hands. So they just summon their big synchro monster beast. They just summon their Stardust Shining Sphere Dragon. You know, summon this guy, attack it, and it doesn't go back to his hand because it's an extra deck monster. So it goes back to his extra deck, and all the effort he put in to summon it is kaput, baby. What a little piece of shit, badass, great card. Ooh, another classic Mumkey burn tactic is the Stealth Bird. I think I've used this a few times on the Legacy of the Duelist. I love these monsters where you can flip them face up, use their ability, and then flip it back face down, and they just keep doing it every turn. And they can't usually stop you because you have other stuff like level limit area B, so they can't even attack. 1700 defense, so if he's attacking with a level 3 or lower monster, because he can, probably not going to be able to defeat this. But his ability is when he's flipped face up, you do 1,000 damage to the opponent, then you flip it back face down, next turn you just do the same thing. So you can imagine, you know, if I've got a couple solar flares, I've got a lava golem on their field, I've got a couple stealth birds going, the opponent's getting burned pretty damn fast. Pretty damn fast. I'm at such evil fun talking about my old deck. Another solar flare, you gotta run 3 of them. Because as soon as you get 2 of them out there, the opponent is running low on options. They better have a fissure. Classic trap card. Magic Cylinder, great for burning, great for stalling. Because when they attack, you stop the attack, and whatever their attack power is, deal it directly back to their life points. Classic great card, been around forever. Solemn Judgment, I'm pretty sure this one's banned. Pretty damn sure this one's banned. You cut your life points in half to cancel any card ever. Yeah, that probably got banned a while ago, I'm not sure. Oh, Air Traffic Control, I guess I am running an Air Traffic Control in this edition. This is a card similar to Gravity Bind or Level Limit Area B, where the whole point of it is to stop the opponent from attacking, but this one is special because it doesn't matter what level the monsters are. It says, if the opponent has 3 or more monsters on their side of the field, which they typically do, especially if I'm giving them lava golems and stuff to clog up their field, or like an Ojama trio, they cannot attack. It's another great way. You know, couple this with the gravity binds and the level limits. Like, a very large portion of my deck is dedicated to stopping them from even attacking. And I don't care if you're running 3 MSTs and 3 Dark Bribes to destroy my spells and traps. I got so many of these bad boys just fucking floating around the deck that as soon as you destroy one, I'll play another one. So there you go. Another level limit area B. Oh, buddy, we haven't even got to my good friend Spell Striker yet. But here's another card that it's been near and dear to my heart for probably 10 years now. The Raging Flame, is it Sprite? I think it's Sprite. I used to call it Raging Flame Spirit, but I think it's Sprite. Monster that can attack directly, and every time it does, it gains 1,000 more attack points. So you attack directly once, you stall for a turn, you protect him, attack again, suddenly he's a 2100 attacker who can attack directly. So much bullshit. Nothing but bullshit the whole time. Another Stealth Bird. Gotta have a bunch of those. Dark Hole, I'm pretty sure this is not banned. I think you can have at least 1 Dark Hole these days. Just a good way to piss off the opponent, reset their field. And yours too, but typically I got enough stuff. If I'm playing Dark Hole, I probably got something else waiting in the wings. Marshmallow again. Here comes the Dark Bribe. You can cancel an opponent's spell or trap card, and then they get a draw card. So, you know, it's a give and take, but if I don't want them to do something to me, I just Dark Bribe that shit. Another Marshmallow. Scrap Iron Scarecrow. This is probably the newest card in my deck. I don't think I have anything from the Synchro era other than, of course, Stardust Dragon, which isn't in this deck. Or maybe Maybe something else. I think Neospatian Grand Mole is from GX, so that's older. But when I saw this card in one of the video games, I knew I had to buy it. I bought 3 copies immediately. Because it's a negate attack. Like, you stop one monster's attack, and then it goes back face down. So you just keep doing that shit forever. It's great. And, of course, you gotta have more than one. Here's another scrap iron for you. Arcana 4-0, the Fool. It's just another Marshmallow, and it can't be destroyed by battle. Nightmare Wheel, great stall burn card. You equip it to your opponent's monster and it can no longer attack, plus every turn they lose 500 points. Great. Ooh, here's a card that I really like. It's not even that great, and in this deck, it's more of just like a fuck you, but I really love this card, the Guardian Sphinx. 5-star monster, so you have to tribute something to summon it. So it's kind of not even worth it. But it's another one where you can flip it face up, use the effect, and flip it back face down. And the effect is, all of your opponent's monsters go back to their hand. It's such a good fuck you. I love just, nope, back to the hand, back to the extra deck, fuck you. It's one of the few ways that I was able to combat, like, the XYZ stuff, because Cobb and Biggs didn't use that stuff, but sometimes I would face somebody who did. And this and Lava Golem were how I usually fought against those things and still found ways to win. Because I did not lose really very much at all, even against the newer stuff. Although I'm sure all of you at home are saying, oh, Mumkey, I could beat this deck. Yeah, I'm sure you could. I'm not going to deny you that. Another Raging Flame Spirit. Ceasefire. Is this card banned? It should probably be banned. It's the ultimate version of Just Desserts. Pretty much all face-down monsters are flipped face-up, and then you count every effect monster on the field. And these days, every monster anybody ever uses is probably an effect monster. And for each one, the opponent loses 500 points. So, it's a long shot, but potentially, this one card could do 5,000 damage, but on average, it's probably going to do like 2,000, 3,000, which is still pretty damn good, especially when you're just trying to stall and burn them. There's not much they can do about it. Spell Striker, another card that I love, one of my favorites. You can, first of all, you can special summon this bad boy, which is good. If you're trying to get like a Jinzo out on the same turn, you can special summon him by removing from your graveyard a spell card. So like, it costs you nothing. Like, oh, I used Dark Hole last turn, okay, throw it, remove from play, special summon this guy. Then you can summon again, so I'll throw him away to summon Jinzo, or I'll keep him because he can attack directly, 600 attack points, and then also, he doesn't take battle damage. So he's really weak, but if somebody hits him and kills him, doesn't really matter to me. Doesn't do any damage, I don't care. Yeah, great card, great card. Another Magic Cylinder, another big fuck you. Where's Jinzo? There's gotta be like 100 Jinzos in here, right? No, I don't see my Jinzo in here. Because I know I always run at least one Jinzo, so I guess it's somewhere else. Another Dark Bribe. Another Spell Striker. Another Stealth Bird. Another Nightmare Wheel. And there's that Gravity Bind. So I'm guessing Gravity Bind is limited to 1, because I only have 1 in here. Where the hell are my Jinzos? I don't know. I don't know why I wouldn't have 1 or 2 Jinzos in the deck, because I hate traps. I hate running into traps, and just throwing down a Jinzo always makes me feel so safe. Even though it does block out my traps too, so maybe that's why I took it out. Maybe I was blocking my own traps too much. But I don't know, it's been, like I said, almost 2 years since I've even probably edited this deck, I think. What else do we have in here? Just a bunch of crap. A bunch of crap. You guys want a Blue Eyes White Dragon? You want one of those? Back in the day when I was a kid, like middle school, I would run 3 Nimble Momongas. But these days, it's, even when I got into high school, I was like, yeah, I could probably run some better cards than this, but this guy was fun. Ooh, okay. Here's one that I also used to run in middle school and a bit of high school. Very much a card dependent on stalling and protecting it and burning. The Wave Motion Cannon. When I found out this card existed, I bought 3 of those bad boys immediately. And I will say, about half of duels were won because of this card. I'm talking way back in the day, before people really had enough thoughtfulness to, make sure they can stop this kind of thing. What Wave Motion Cannon does is that every turn it's on your field, you put one token on it, and then anytime you want, on your turn of course, you can send it to the graveyard, and for every token on it, your opponent loses 1,000 points. So if you're lucky enough, you get 2 or 3 of these bad boys on the first turn, lay them down, your opponent is suddenly on a ticking time bomb of like 4 turns before I just blow them up. Which of course 4 turns these days, and I keep sounding like an old man, but 4 turns these days is probably like 30 turns back then, because the format is so fast these days. But yeah, Wave Motion Cannon, that was a fun way to piss people off and get their sweat pouring. Like, oh, I gotta destroy that thing, he's gonna blow me up! Oh god, and they have to deal with all the other stuff that I'm doing. A card that I used to run and sometimes still do, the Ant-Eater Eating Ant, it's kind of a fun card. You tribute 2 of your own spell or trap cards, so it's a pretty big cost because you don't usually have two spell or traps that you just want to get rid of on the field. But you can tribute them to special summon this guy. 2,000 attacks, I love special summons like that. And then his ability is he can destroy one of your opponent's spell or trap cards every turn. So, I mean, I guess, you got 2 spell or trap cards that you could do without. Like, maybe I don't need this Magic Cylinder and I don't need, this Dark Hole, throw it face down. Summon this guy, I can destroy one of my opponent's annoying spells or traps. It's a fun way to get around that kind of stuff. Ooh. So, there's these 2 cards that I used to run a bunch of all the time. The Pitch Black Warwolf and the Mirage Dragon, which both do the same thing. They're both it's a one's dark and the other one's light, both 1600 attack. And during the battle phase, while this card's on the field, your opponent can't activate traps, so it's kind of like a Jinzo Light. But what's great about these is that you could use them. I had like this Chaos deck, and Chaos is dependent on having light monsters and dark monsters, and you can remove. There's a card called Chaos Sorcerer and a card called Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, which I think is not banned. I think you can have one of them, maybe not anymore. And you would remove a light and a dark monster from your graveyard from play to special summon them, and their abilities are, I guess you don't like that opponent's monster? It's removed from play, it's out of the game now, and then blow everything up. And it's especially good when you still have one of these guys on the field, or even Jinzo, because he's dark too, to stop the traps. Chaos decks were a lot of fun back in the day. Yeah, there's my Jinzo. And here, I used to use Fiend Sanctuary all the time. I'd probably still use that today. It's just like you special summon a token that you can sacrifice. So that's like an easy way to get Jinzo out immediately, or whatever you want to do. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Xing Zen Hu, maybe? We had a lot of fun with this one. To piss each other off, you activate it, and then 2 of your opponent's face-down cards, 2 of their face-down spell or traps, you can just block them from being used. This stays on the field, but at the cost of 1 of your cards, you can block out 2 of theirs, which is always, it's a good way to piss off your opponent. I think after I started using this, also all my friends started using it too. Oh, and then Jester Confit. I love this guy too. It's just another easy special summon to tribute for something else. Oh, and of course, no Chaos deck is complete without Honest, the most bullshit piece of asshole card in the whole game. Everybody hates and simultaneously loves Honest. It's a hand trap that works on light monsters. And if a light monster of yours is involved in any battle, they're attacking or being attacked, you say, hey, I got Honest in my hand. Which increases your monster's attack points by the attack of the other monster. So it's an automatic, fuck you, you're dead, and you lose a whole bunch of points. Good old Honest. Everybody loves it. And I think that's all I want to go through today. I mean, I got like this little bin of the cards I actually care about. The rest of this stuff, I'm pretty sure, is just garbage. Just garbage everywhere. So, not much else to say. If you're still watching, like, if you're a real Yu-Gi-Oh fan, you already know what all the cards I just read do. And if you're not, you probably wouldn't be interested to listen to this anyway. So once again, Mumkey Jones has made a video that is for literally nobody. Nobody. But there you go, that's my episode 100 spectacular. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice walk down memory lane. So I'll see you for episode 101. I think we're doing a duel called the Trio something. See you then.